There's a concept that I heard of recently that I'd like to share with you, and it goes like this: intent counts more than technique. Have you ever noticed how when you're talking with someone, when they understand your intent, when they truly understand what you're trying to do, they're much more motivated and open to listening to what it is that you have to say? Recently, I sat down with my yoga instructor, Katy Hawkins, to talk with her about how this concept of intent counting more than technique plays out or shows up in the practice of yoga. Take a look.
Everything is intent. I mean, intent over technique is one of the key principles.
The foot can be way up high on the thigh. Hold the intention.
A better idea is like, a model balance. So what we learn in balancing poses is that it's a verb, that balancing is a practice of continually moving away from our center and falling back into it. So whenever you stand clean on 2 feet, you're constantly aware of the natural sway. So like that, a pose needs to give, a pose needs to breathe. A way of being is not based on some kind of model that you are handed. If you're trying to mimic a model, say of triangle pose, okay, my thumb is over my nose and my right toes are here and the left toes are turned in 45 degrees, and it's like a robotic action. And while there is a little bit in yoga about teach your body the appropriate place to be and then sort of fake it until you make it, there's also a notion that you don't know whether that expression of the pose is right for your particular body type, state of nervous system. And in the end, you need to feel a pose from the inside. You need to feel an experience from the inside. You need to put whatever teaching, whatever modeling is most key to you through the sieve of your own experience. If it's not true to you, then there's no integrity and it's empty. You're making a form. You're stating a teaching.
Majestic spine, floaty skull, elegant neck. Left sitting bone.
If you're deliberating over your choices of words, something's awry, like you're not really working from the root of you. There's some kind of ego involvement. Whereas if you find that blank slate of the mind that's just clean slate, and you Windex the whole thing free, and then you allow the person or the phenomenon in front of you to call the words forth, then it just happens. And in yoga, it's, that's the relationship of the chakras. The 5th chakra is the throat chakra. When you're speaking your truth, it's effortless. So if you find yourself seeking words or agonizing over languaging, chances are you're not speaking your truth. If a tree were rigid, it would break. There's this moving with what comes. So true listening is locking in to what's being put out there, to where the action is, and being willing to change based on what's gonna come to you. And how you know you're listening well is when the whole thing explodes into life. When you're not listening, it's like a cardboard cutout of what's being said. When you're listening and the whole world comes to life, then you know that you are surrendering to precisely what is. So an experience is as rich or as poor as you can be open to its richness.
It's happy baby, for Christ's sakes. Happy baby. Like, let it roll. Let your head come along for the ride.
Perceive in the world is how the world manifests for you. What you bring to the table is what you are offered. The trip of this whole package is that it's all interlinked. Like having right action, right intent is the same as developing compassion. Developing compassion is the same as checking your ego at the door. Checking your ego at the door is the same as karmic reverberation. It's the intention to continually arrive on the scene with clarity and open-heartedness that it becomes effortless. It's what they say in sports about this notion of flow. It's a great expression of everything that we're striving for in any practice, is to reach a place where you become empty. where you receive life moving through you instead of your will strong-arming how something's gonna go, it all takes care of itself.